Welcome to the Chambers Elevated Conversations podcast. And now, your host, Dave Eckmann.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to our podcast this morning. And with us this morning is Bill Bertram, one of the founding members of IRONBULL, a new outdoor adventure racing organization here in the greater Wausau area. Bill, welcome to the table this morning.
Well, thanks for having me, and look forward to the conversation.
Yeah. Bill, what's your favorite disco song from the 1970s when your hair was much longer and you had a free-flowing spirit?
Probably Night Fever by the Bee Gees.
Bee Gees are big.
Yeah.
That's our second Bee Gees song. Another person mentioned Staying Alive, but he's a small business owner.
Yeah, and I actually saw the Bee Gees in concert many years ago, so it's actually one of my all-time favorite groups because they reinvented themselves at least twice. So,
all right.
Yeah.
So reinvention, it sounds like one of your themes that lives in your soul. So tell me about yourself, Bill, and why you're here. How did you come to be in Wausau, Wisconsin?
Okay, I actually grew up in Davenport, Iowa, went to school in Illinois, and I would come up here every summer in conjunction with Marathon Electric. They were a very big vendor of ours. I worked for an engineering construction company in downstate Illinois, and they were a big supplier of electric motors that we would use internationally in the ag business. Yeah.
All right. So you worked with Marathon Electric, and then what was Regal Beloit?
Yeah, so I actually had an opportunity to move up here in 1997 to actually help sell the business. And it ended up being that Regal was the acquirer, and then I stayed on. I liked what I saw with Regal, their management team, and then ended up, as I say, having a number of different chairs that I had at Marathon, vice president of marketing, vice president of sales, and then ended up running the motor side of the business for 14 years.
Okay. So you recently retired.
Yeah, I had the opportunity to move abroad. I lived in the Netherlands for 3 years, retired in August of 2016, and had a passion for parks and wanted to give back to the community what the community had given me over my business career. And so I was looking for an economic driver using the parks if at all possible.
Right. So a retired engineer becomes a committed and passionate founding member of a new organization called IRONBULL. Right?
Correct. Yeah, correct. I was with the Park Foundation, and we were looking for a single fundraiser, and happened to look at off-road triathlons and off-road racing. I started to look at data from a Pew study and a Brookings Institute study on millennials and where millennials will spend their time and their energies and their monies. And there was a perfect correlation to off-road racing and millennials. So that was a real home run for me with the idea of moving into that space.
So if you would, take us into IRONBULL, what it is as an organization, what it does, and what its hopes are.
Sure. What IRONBULL it's a off-road racing organization really focused on economic development and talent retention. We felt as an organization, we wanted to hold on to what we were losing in terms of our youth and then pull back what we had already lost. And when I took a look at IRONBULL with a couple of the other founders, we took a look at Bend, Oregon, and some other racing organizations, and realized that it was a formula to be able to attract young people back to the area, bring them back for races, and then hopefully they would stay and have families here and want to stay in the Wausau, central Wisconsin area.
Right. So you had mentioned what I find really interesting in your perspective is that you've taken the outdoor recreation aspect, the richness of our community, and you're connecting it to an economic development opportunity for talent retention attraction. That's big thinking.
Yeah, it was. I don't know, big thinking, but what I had seen when I lived in abroad, I lived in the Netherlands for 3 years, and there was a different economic model in the Netherlands that I had seen in the U.S., where businesses, universities, and the government moved as one. And I also started to witness a lot of off-road racing in the Netherlands, and saw that as maybe an opportunity to bring that from what they were doing there back to the Wausau area. And so yeah, we host a number of off-road races throughout the year, through the winter months, the shoulder seasons in the fall and the spring, and then also in the summer. And then we were able to convince some other forward-looking organizations, the YMCA, the Rib Mountain Adventure Challenge, and other outdoor rec groups to align with us to use this as an economic development model.
So you'll be harnessing the capacity of different organizations, and that's coming up this spring with one of them, right?
Yeah, we actually in May will have the largest adventure race by attendance in the U.S. On May 23rd in Wausau. And then around this, Dave, we've been able to create what we call the Extreme Weekend, where we're having it'd be a festive type environment with the Iron Palooza, which is a sports expo focused with the local retailers. And then Iron Point is a health and wellness expo that we feel real strong about, is to integrate that into what we do at IRONBULL.
That's terrific. A real set strategy in terms of connecting community. And I've been a willing participant in this work that you're doing, and I can tell you, just thoroughly enjoying what IRONBULL's creating and bringing to the community, not only for myself but for others like me that want to be introduced, if you will, into this new outdoor rec sport.
Right. The funny thing with IRONBULL, it's really about the weekend warrior, not necessarily for the extreme sports junkie or addict. And we really want to target the Midwest, and particularly Northern Illinois, the Chicagoland area. We think there's an opportunity to leverage what Mother Nature has blessed Wausau with. Rib Mountain, the whitewater kayak course downtown, the topography we have throughout the area. There's really nothing like it in the Midwest, and we all have it here. And we think that's will be a home run for the Wausau area. Absolutely.
Right. And so as you go through this, the different events, you have a professional staff now at IRONBULL, correct?
Yeah, we do. We have an executive director, Andrea Larson. She's an engineer like myself, was a project engineer for Siemens. She gave up her career in that she felt that this was an opportunity to change her community, change our community. She went to high school in Marathon City, and when she returned, she was the only one returning to the area. Everybody else had moved away to Boise, Idaho, or Bend, or Colorado, or the Carolinas, versus coming back to the central Wisconsin and Wausau. So yeah, she's a real driver in the organization. Absolutely.
A lot of fun, and she knows the industry, and she knows the work. In fact, I think she just returned from a race out in Arizona where she ran 62 miles in 10 hours.
Yeah, our executive board is made up of racers. She's part of the top ranked team in the United States for adventure racing, along with Tim Buchholz, the president of IRONBULL, and his wife Anna. She's one of the top ultra marathoners in the Midwest, and so Andrea's taken part in a number of races, and we think that's a real important for our organization also to have leadership that's also in the sport.
Right. So, Bill, what really, as I look at what you're doing with IRONBULL and your leadership throughout the community and with your organization, what really intrigues me and why I love working and collaborating with you is that you have a big picture and you connect dots to bring people and organizations together. How are you doing that? I mean, how do you how do you go about getting these folks? And because you are building a very strong coalition, how do you go about doing that?
Yeah, that's a great question. And we've been, I think, first and foremost, really blessed with a lot of like-minded people that have had exactly the same thoughts that Iron Bull had. And what Iron Bull has been able to do is lead and also partake in those organizations what they had already thought of. And directionally, we were all moving together, but independent of each other. And Iron Bull has acted as an umbrella to be able to host those different organizations as one. And that's a big idea. I mean, we've been able to attract businesses, foundations, state monies into the organizations, and they all see the value today of what outdoor rec can do for our community. And I think that's connecting those dots.
Terrific. One last question.
Sure.
Andy Griffith Show. Who's your favorite character?
Opie.
Okay, all right. I know why. I know why. So, Bill, thanks for being in here with us today. And folks, keep an eye out on the Rib Mountain Adventure Challenge this spring. Bill Bertram and myself will be running as a team in the challenge. And our team name, so you can watch us, is Bill and Dave's Excellent Adventure.
Absolutely.
So, Bill, thanks for being here. Thanks for your time.
Yeah, you all have a great day. Bye.
This podcast episode is a production of the Greater Wausau Chamber of Commerce.